What can I answer for you today?
We've been doing a bit of walking around the place and talking to businesses, and got a good rapport with all of those businesses. But obviously, you don't you go get married on the first dance. So how do we keep following up in that environment so that we've got some way of contacting them further beyond where we've been?
Yeah. So you've been doing bold calls where you've been physically visiting people?
Physically visiting people.
Perfect. All right. So, so, I mean, what was the general consensus? Like, what was the feedback as you went around to these people and said g'day?
It's pretty good. It's good to see you around. Nice to know what you get up to. So it's a good reaction on there, but there's no immediate need for our services. So we just got to keep the momentum going so that when the need arises, we're the ones that they think of.
Out of curiosity, Daryl, how many did you do?
Sorry?
Out of curiosity, how many did you do? How many people did you visit?
On that particular day, that was about 10 or 12.
How many have you done in total?
Or probably overall up to 100.
Perfect. I'm curious, Daryl, out of that 100, how many were rude to you?
Oh, none.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yes.
I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to the benefit of everybody else. You know, we build this stuff up in our mind that it's going to be really bad, and it just never is. And if you had said one, it still wouldn't have mattered. Like 1 out of 100 that's rude to you is not the end of the world. All right, to answer your question, you said there was no immediate need. I would beg to differ. I would suggest to you that out of 100, there were some that probably conditioned to say no thanks, because that's what we all do. But there would be some in that 100 that are somewhat interested on the scale. There would be 1 or 2 that are really keen. There'd be some that are less and less and less, all the way down to the ones that legitimately aren't. For me, we've got to what we call open the loop, right? We've got to start that continual dialogue. You're probably going to have to ring these people every 90 days for the rest of your life. Because if they're not ready now, they'll be ready in 90 days. And if they're not ready in 90, they'll be ready in 180. And so that it will roll on, right? At some point, they're going to have a problem with their business that you'll be able to go in and fix. And that's a time issue. So the way I kind of look at this, I look at this differently, right? You've been to visit 100 people. Let's say you've collected 100 business cards. That is like stock in a way. So a retail shop buys 50 pairs of the same shoe, and they stick them out the back, and then they sell them down over time. You have got that list of 100 names, right? That you haven't bought the stock, but they're kind of sitting there. You've traded time for them. Now you need to work that list of 100 to sell it down over time. Okay? So just like a shoe shop might take 1 year to sell out all 50 pairs of one type of shoe, you might take 1 year to start to convert these people into customers. So for you, that's how a service business is like a product-based business, right? That becomes stock for you. So, I mean, based on the conversation, I would probably just come away with my list of 100 and I'll rank them into A, B, C, Ds, right? And if that's too hard, A, B, C. Who did I get on well with, who showed some level of interest, who is the middle ground, and who absolutely said no, right? And then I'll just get on the phone to all the A's. And then I wouldn't ring them up to sell them, right? I probably wouldn't go too hard on the first phone call, right? I would probably go along the lines of, hey, I dropped in last week. I know time's not right for you now, but I want to start a conversation with you. Can I send you something? And that would be but it's got to be value, right? It can't just be promotional material. It's got to be value, right? Can I send you an article I did on my business or the industry, or can I send you a video on some tips and some tricks? And then even if they say no, send it anyway, right? Because you've got their email address. So, but you're going to have to drive it. So after you've done that, maybe you call back and you say, hey, listen, I just want to ask this quick question, and you ask a question that kind of leads into some answers. And then once you've kind of given them some value, you actually have earned the right at that stage to call them up and just, hey, listen, I want to come in and do an appraisal of your business. I want to see if I can help you out. It's going to cost you nothing. And then you basically go for the hard sell. But too many people don't go for the hard sell. They don't build any value and they don't go for the hard sell. They're too busy waiting for people to come to them. Yeah, if you wait for people to come to you, you're leaving millions of dollars on the table. You've got to ring these people and just be. You're obviously not shy. You obviously don't mind doing the walk-in. So now you'd be totally fine to get on the phone and say, hey, I popped in to see you. I gave you that value. Hope it was good. Listen, I'm doing this free thing. A free meeting, a cheaper service. I've got some offer on the table. Do you want to take it right now? And ring the 100. And I bet you 4, 5, 6 of those people are going to say yes. Right? But you're going to farm that group over time. But the mistake that most people make is they farm and they never hunt. Right? You've got to farm and then you've got to go out and spear an animal and drag it back into the cave. Otherwise, no one gets to eat. Right? So that's what I'd be suggesting to you, right? Just because you did 100 bold calls and no one said yes, that doesn't mean it's not a yes in 3 months' time or 3 weeks' time. You've just got to go milk that list. That they will unsubscribe from your emails and they'll tell you where to go if you overstep the mark. So to me, anything short of them taking out a restraining order against you means they're still keen. Right? If they take a restraining order, you're calling too much. If they're not, you can keep going. That's kind of like my barometer. Not too many people are not hungry enough to play that hard. That's where the money is.